And don't stutter when you... Welcome to Arise Entertainment 360. I'm Shannon Lanier.
And I'm Katura King. Live from New York, we're here with your 360 look at entertainment, arts, and culture.
That's right, and we have an exciting show today, so let's get right into it and talk about 2018. Because 2018 is already off to a great start.
We're talking about Cardi B, honey.
That's right. The winds haven't stopped rolling in for Cardi B.
Yes.
Now, she will be taking over the Super Bowl in a new Alexa commercial for Amazon.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Check it out.
Alexa?
Amazon's Alexa lost her voice this morning, causing a
Alexa lost her voice. How is that even possible?
We have the replacements ready. Just say the word.
And you're sure this is going to work?
Yeah.
Alexa, show me a recipe for a grilled cheese sandwich.
Pathetic. You're 32 years of age, and you don't know how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. Its name is the recipe, you...
Alexa, how far is Mars?
How far is Mars? Well, how am I supposed to know? I've never been there. This guy want to go to Mars. For what? There's not even oxygen there.
Alexa, set the mood.
Now setting the mood. You're in the bush, and you're just so dirty, and you're so sweaty, because it's hot in that bush.
Alexa, reboot.
Alexa, play some country music.
I don't dance now. I make money move.
No, Alexa, country music.
I be in and out them banks so much I know they tired of me.
Alexa, call Brandon.
I'm afraid Brandon is a little tied up. But do let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Jessica? Good boy.
You know, she constantly gives us reasons to keep loving her.
It was great. I was laughing all the way through
a great
it.
commercial.
Very true, very true.
Now, as you saw, the Body Cardi rapper lends her vocals an infectious personality to Amazon's highly popular Alexa intelligence software. The 90-second commercial also stars Gordon Ramsay, Rebel Wilson, and Anthony Hopkins doing some Hannibal Lecter.
Ooh, that's a little scary.
Right?
I want my Alexa to sound like Cardi B, though. I'm going to vote for that.
I kind of just want my Alexa to sound like, well, I'll guess till you'll see a bit later on in the show.
See, okay, starting trouble. But she's still in the news, though, right? She's keeping it going.
She is. I mean, she's won so many awards, and I think it's all very well deserved. Cardi B, you are a legend in the making. And on the subject of Cardi B, you'll remember that she gave an amazing performance of Finesse with Bruno Mars at the recently concluded Grammy Awards, right? So she wore a multicolored Moschino outfit, which gave me all the In Living Color vibes, and she looked terrific.
She sure did, but unfortunately, certain haters on the internet decided to attack Cardi for being a real woman.
What do you mean?
Well, when this picture, or the picture in this outfit that she's wearing right here, you see, when the picture appeared on social media, well, it showed her in all her glory, and some people were hating on her because she had a little stomach hair.
What?
Just a little stomach hair right there. See the picture?
Grow up, guys.
Right.
I mean, this is not the first time in 2018 that a woman has sported body hair. Like, it's no big deal, because it's not.
Right.
Now, if you recall, on New Year's Eve, Lords Leon showed off her armpit hair on Instagram, right? And in my opinion, she all the way slayed, just like Cardi.
See, I'm going to have to draw a line at armpit hair. A little stomach hair on my armpit hair.
What do you mean? Excuse me. So are you saying that women are supposed to be hairless for your amusement?
No, not at all. Do you. Monique does it. Do you.
We will be doing us for 2018, ladies, okay?
As long as you keep it fresh, then you're good. Like, just don't let, you know.
What?
Sometimes hair holds in the smell. You know?
Let's move away from this.
Move on. All right, let's move on to Amber Rose, because she is saying goodbye to some of her lady lumps. That's right. And of course, we have the exclusive. It's been about 2 weeks since she went under the knife to have a breast reduction, and now she's showing off her results.
How weird. Now, before hopping on her Instagram story, the Slutwalk creator was spotted making her way to a plastic surgery clinic in Beverly Hills. So you can see her on screen. She was dressed down in sweats. She had her Chick-fil-A drink in her hand. Yummy. You know what they say, a girl's gotta eat.
A girl's gotta eat, and she's eating, and she still looks great. That's the thing.
She does. She really does. I'm quite intrigued that she's decided to get her breasts reduced, though, because it's not what she's known for. Breast reductions, demureness. We don't really affiliate Amber Rose.
She's usually showing showing off her glory.
like that. Look
there
at those
you go.
bazungas.
Yeah. But you know, maybe she started to have back problem. Maybe she said this is her new image. She may be rebranding herself.
That is very
And, you know, a
true.
lot of people, you know, associate her with the slut walk and different things like that. And maybe she wants to go ahead and do something a little different and rebrand herself.
Oh,
So you go ahead with your bad self.
Okay, then, okay. I don't see any problem with the rebrand.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Okay.
Now, it's been confirmed that the New York Times, that Oprah
Oprah, yeah.
has
Well, she
removed-
kind of sings like the opera sometimes. You get a car! Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
no? Okay. Help you out.
It's been confirmed by the New York Times that Oprah has removed Russell Simmons' contribution from her spiritual advice book. The published book has been on the bestseller list since 2017, but Russell will not be included in the new edition, which has been set for a February release.
Yeah, and it was revealed on the Wendy Williams show that Damon John also decided to remove Simmons' advice from his upcoming self-help book, Rise and Grind. But Simmons himself is actually the one that advised John to remove his passions so that it wouldn't distract from the message.
Yes, now Oprah's book, The Wisdom of Sundays, is composed of selections between Oprah and her guests on the OWN show Super Soul Sunday, as well as excerpts from motivational speakers like Deepak Chopra and Elizabeth Gilbert. In the book, Russell wrote about how his meditation has positively affected his life, amongst other things.
Yeah, but now that all these allegations of sexual misconduct are in the air, they don't want that to take away. I get it, I understand, and that was pretty big of him to say, you know what, go ahead and take me out.
Big of him to say that to Draymond John, but I mean, Oprah just taking him out without consulting him.
It is Oprah, it's her book, she can do what she wants to do. Look, especially with her message and being a woman who's always talking about empowerment and those things, and she's not going to stand for any treatment whatsoever like that.
Absolutely, and I mean, at the end of the day, she has got to do what's right.
There you go.
Go on, Oprah.
Well, Jay-Z may have 99 problems, but business acumen isn't one of them. That's right. Hov has trademarked the name Hovino.
Oh,
I like that. That kind of like a little ring to it, right?
Okay.
And there were also talks that he may be opening a restaurant under that name, too.
Ooh.
Shit, we're opening a casino. The Hovino Casino. That would be nice. I'm just saying. Come on now.
Now, the 4040 Club is his most popular sports bar and lounge, and that's actually the only one that I know of. But now he wants to expand his Rock Nation clothing brand, Paper Planes, into a full brand with athletic gym bags, tour books, jewelry, and even possibly a cosmetic line. So he is doing it for the culture.
I mean, he is a businessman, you know, like we talked about earlier this week or last week about how his songs all talk about, you know, economic empowerment.
Yes,
So why
and
not
Ash
start
Cash
multiple...
really brought that to life in his book that he wrote about it.
Multiple streams of income. Go
Hey,
ahead with your bad self.
How else can you become a billionaire? You know what he said? You know what's better than one billionaire, right?
Two.
Hey.
And his wife is definitely one too, right?
Right.
All right.
Now, speaking of billionaires, at the height of Paris Hilton's reality TV stardom, Paris and Kim Kardashian's relationship was a curious mix of business meets pleasure. Kim was Paris's sometime personal assistant, sometime BFF. Well, Paris recently posted a pic of herself dressed up as a Kim Kardashian lookalike to model Kanye West's new Yeezy Season 6 clothing line.
Well, you know what? Fame's a funny thing, isn't it? Because one minute you're ordering someone to clean up and organize your closets, and the next minute you're modeling their husband's clothing line. Or at least that's how things have panned out for Paris Hilton. Now, and lots has changed since the days when we watched Kim Kardashian getting ordered around by her so-called BFF.
Yes, she looks almost exactly like her. I mean, if you just glanced at it, you would think that that was Kim K.
Until she turned around, and then you said,
then you'd be like, wait a minute. That's not Kim. I love what they're doing though, because he's really taking social media by storm. You know, there was that meme that people created once his wife decided to reveal yet another nude photo, and he was having dinner alone in Berlin. So people were saying, oh, poor Kanye, look at where he is during the Grammys. All your mates are at the Grammys, and you're having dinner alone in Berlin. But hey, apparently, he was concocting this social media brainstorm to get all the celebrities in his clothes. I've seen them on everyone.
And now everyone's talking about it, so it worked. Jesus.
It worked. More solo dinners for you, Kanye.
Yes.
Now, after years of stories that Shamar Moore is gay, he's just asked to take me on a date. I'm joking. No. He's attempting to put those rumors to rest with some new arm candy.
That's right. He debuted his new lady friend, Quantico's actress Annabelle Ascosta, on the Grammys red carpet. And, well, he shared that he gave his co-worker a round-trip ticket to a hotel and plane trip to Vegas in exchange for Annabelle's email address, and of course, the rest is history.
That is so sweet. The star of SWAT says that they are just friends, however, and he's still single and ready to mingle. My phone number is 347. I'm joking.
Wow, wow. You have to stand in line. My wife's waiting to date him too. I don't know why, but you know, but we'll see what happens. We'll be keeping an eye on this story and see if it turns into more than just friendship.
Wedding bells, I hear.
Really? That's serious?
Over yonder.
Oh, okay.
2019, anyone?
Okay, well, we'll keep watching.
Hey, remember I told you.
Now, a year after Michelle Obama awkwardly accepted a gift from Melania Trump at the 2017 inauguration, she reveals what was in the box. And I know we were all wondering what it was, right? And why also it was so uncomfortable. She was like moving
really
like this, right?
Yes.
Well, millions watched as the Obamas and the Trumps greeted one another ahead of Donald Trump's inauguration last year. And the already uncomfortable meeting was made even more awkward when Melania Trump handed Michelle Obama a Tiffany's box outside of the White House.
Yes, indeed. Now, it was a nice gesture, but it was a bit of a problem. Michelle had no idea what was in the box, and she had no idea what to do with it. So now, 1 year later, Ellen DeGeneres finally got the former First Lady to open up about the exchange. First of all, let's answer the most important question. What was the gift?
Right.
Let's find out together.
Yeah, so what was in there?
It was a lovely frame.
What was a frame?
It was a frame. Oh yeah, this is.
First of all, he just walks up the steps without his wife, just leaves his wife behind. He just walks up there.
Well, there's all this protocol. I mean, this is like a state visit, so they tell you that you're going to do this, they're going to stand here. Never before do you get this gift, so I'm sort of like, okay. What am I supposed to do with this gift? And everyone cleared out, and no one would come and take the box. And I'm thinking, do we take the picture with? And then my husband saved the day. See, he grabbed the box and took it back inside.
That was actually a funny story, because everyone was like, what is she doing? She's like, where do I put it? She just put it on the ground.
You know, I actually initially thought that it was a bit shady. I thought she didn't want to accept the gift. So it was good to watch Ellen and find out that, you know, it was actually just a case of her not knowing where to put the gift. As opposed to not wanting it.
That's a big difference. That is a big difference.
No shade.
No shade at
all.
No shade. So calm down, Internet. And speaking of Internet, it has been on fire this week with all sorts of rumors about the possible reboot of arguably one of the best 90s sitcoms.
Say it!
Martin!
Yes!
Martin! No.
That is right. And Tisha Campbell-Martin, who plays Gina on the series, was recently asked about the show coming back. You guys ready to hear what she had to say? Let's check it out.
Honored to be Gina all these years. And it's surprising that people still love those characters so much. So I can't tell you guys anything!
Okay, that sure sounded like a confirmation to me. If you watched a little longer, she kind of was like hinting, but not hinting, but hinting.
It's coming.
It's coming back.
It's coming.
Yes.
And we are ready.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
We cannot wait.
All of it in all its glory. We'll be here watching. All right? And we want you to continue watching us as well, so don't go anywhere.
We will be right back with more Rise Entertainment 360.
Boys, you ready? The original show was fighting for tolerance. Our fight is for acceptance.
Let's do this. I'm excited, like I don't know what to expect.
I'd like the Fab Five to help me get out of my comfort zone.
I think my dad is lonely.
I want her to be excited about the new me.
Really, it's surviving, and I need him to start thriving.
How long does it take for this to accumulate?
Like 2.5 minutes.
Whoa, there's a lot going on in here.
There's no way that that's acceptable anywhere other than... God, I don't even know where you'd wear that.
Welcome back to Arise 360. Now, you may recognize our first guest as the first openly gay man in reality television. And that show that he was on, MTV's The Real World. That was way back in 2004. Can you believe that?
Ago. I was like 3.
Oh,
but we have come a long way, and he's now bringing fierce fashion and cultural balance to the new reboot of Queer Eye on Netflix.
Netflix.
That's what it is. What is Netflix?
I don't know. It's a new
Karamo Brown, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You two are the best. I have enjoyed watching you all thoroughly.
Oh, thank you.
We really appreciate that.
We just really love each other.
Still together. Now we have to back up first a little bit and talk
Yes.
about the real world because we all remember the show. But what was it like for you being on the show and being openly gay man at that time on television?
I mean, the show was, first of all, that wasn't my intention to set out when I did Real World. You know, I just got out of graduate from college, and it was like, I want to move into a house, drink, have fun, and just have a good time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then all of a sudden it turned into this really culturally relevant moment and experience, especially for African American and Latino people, because they had never seen an openly gay African American on television before. I was the first. And so it allowed me just to step into this spot where my mother always says, what's in you's gonna come out to you, and that's where God needed you to be. And so what was in me of being outspoken and being there to support people came out of me, and it just became a great experience.
I love that.
A wise mother.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
her.
So I have a little bit of an unhealthy obsession with reality TV.
Me too.
I mean, I've watched you in everything. Let me just tell you. I've watched you in things that they didn't even know anything about. I watched you in the next 15 minutes.
What?
Yes.
You know the next 15?
Unhealthy
Okay.
obsession.
I appreciate
but
that.
now it seems like almost every reality TV show has at least one black cast member, one gay cast member. Would you say that in some way you helped open the closet door? That's so funny.
I think every time a little bit of exposure comes and we actually get to see someone of a different race or a different sexual orientation, I think it allows the network to say, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I think about just what's happening right now with Black Panther and how that movie is selling out. I know it's not reality, but now this is going to open up the door for so many other black superheroes. And I think visibility is so important, you know what I mean? And for so long, I think white Hollywood has been afraid of embracing different genders and different races and different sexualities, and now they're realizing that it's the most profitable, and you should have known that a long time ago.
Okay, you gotta say it, honey.
And you're definitely going to be profiting off of Queer Eye, but it's been 15 years since it was on television. So were you a fan of the original?
Actually, I was. Jay Rodriguez was the original culture guy. I took his spot, and I just thought like how cool it was to see this young Puerto Rican guy trekking through New York, you know, who was talking about like things that I knew about and enjoyed it. You know, Carson was a fun guy.
I loved Carson.
Yes, you know, he just was out there and fabulous. And so, you know, it's great because I did watch it, but our show is has some elements of it, but we are a brand new show. People are going to be very surprised by what we're doing now.
So you have to give us some exclusives. What's different about this iteration?
Well, first of all, you know, with my position, the first time around, the culture guy only gave away Broadway tickets. And that made sense for the time because they believed that straight men had never been to a show. But now straight men, women have been to the theater. They, you know, they're more exposed, especially with the advent of technology where we are today. People are exposed to culture all the time. So for me, with my background in social
symmetry,
therapy, I make sure that I feel the inside. So while everybody else is fixing the outside, I'm trying to figure out what is going on inside of you that is blocking you from getting to that next level in your life. You know?
Huge.
Yes.
I love that more holistic approach.
Holistic completely. And then through that, we're also having some culturally relevant conversations that are very important. You know, especially there is a scene where I am with a white Southern cop and who we walk into his house and there is a Trump sign. And so for me, as on this show, we're supposed to be happy and go lucky, and I'm like, before I can do any of this, we gotta
take it down.
We got let's get to the basics. I'm a black man, you are a white cop, and right now in our culture, you all are killing me, and I have two sons, and I don't feel comfortable with coming into your house and pretending like everything's hunky dory until I address the fact of how do you feel about the fact that police are killing black people. And that conversation plays out on this show. They kept it in, which I was so happy about. And those are the type of conversations we're having. We have conversations with men who didn't realize that he's emotionally abusing his wife because he just grew up in a culture where, like, you can say things to your woman. And for me, that's not okay. So I'm going to check you immediately and let you know when you speak to your wife, you need to speak to her in a way that is respectful. If you want to talk to your mama like that, why are you going to talk to your wife like that?
It seems like this is much more than...
I'm
like, what, all this on Queer Eye?
All of this on Queer Eye.
You guys are taking this to a whole nother level.
We are.
And it's more than just a makeover show now.
Yeah, this is completely, I mean, this is a brand new show.
Yeah, we tell people it's a make better show, and it's really making, you know, we're making people better from, you know, everyone has a jumping off point where they can grow, and that's where we're going from. We're still having fun. I mean, those four guys that I see behind me, mean, we have become a family. We love each other. We have a good time. We laugh, but we don't shy away because we need it nowadays.
Absolutely.
And so I'm proud of the show.
I love the fact that you're using not only your platform, but also this show to address topical issues. Because a lot of people, like you say, shy away from addressing these issues because, you know, it might lower ratings or the network might not call you back. But you are taking confrontation to a whole new level for all the right reasons.
Yeah, for me, it was very important. Like when Netflix offered me the job, I let them know, like, I cannot be anyone who I am. And so I can't walk into spaces and just pretend that my other identities don't exist just because this show is about 5 gay men. You know, as a gay man, that is an important part of me, but I am also a father who raises my children alone. I also was raised by my mother and my sisters, and that's important to me. I'm also of Jamaican descent, and that's important to me. You know, these things don't just leave because all of a sudden I'm around 4 other gay men. And I was so happy that they were like, be you. Be you, boo. And then in turn, we tell these people we're helping, be you, boo.
Be you, boo.
Be you, boo.
And that's another difference between this show, because you're helping all the boos. Not, it's not just the straight men anymore, right?
Yes. We're helping women, we're helping families this time around, which is pretty awesome. That's why it's no longer queer eye for the straight guy, it's just queer eye. And also, the term queer, a lot of people, it had a negative connotation because people used to use it as sort of like a diss, sort of the way the N-words were and was. And, just as many African Americans have taken that word back, the LGBTQ community has taken that word back, but I use the word queer as the term curious.
Yes,
and so
exactly. That's how I use it too.
Yeah, so we're making people to be more curious about their own lives and themselves and their families.
Well, I'm curious, when you said you try to help as a cultural guru.
Okay, exactly.
Well, as a cultural guru, you say you help people get past the boundaries or the things that are blocking them from getting to the next level. What are some of the common things you see happening in people's lives that you're helping, that's blocking them?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I've seen is that people are afraid. We live in a culture where men especially are taught that you can't express your emotion, you can't express hurt, you can't express love in certain ways. And it's shocking to us when we see a man crying on TV. It's shocking to us when we see a man be a true father on television. You as a dad, I watch your posts and you are with your girls and you love them and you're showing them love. And for some reason, like, a lot of men don't think they can do that. And I think that's one of the things we got to break down. You know what I mean? Like, men should be just as comfortable as women, as anyone, to express themselves and be curious about life and just be open. And so for me, I make sure I always give them a reason to have a good cathartic cry, because I want you to let it out. Let it out.
Like a Viola Davis kind of like
Viola Davis, Halle Berry that won her the Oscar when she was like, I need it, crying.
It's the Kim Kardashian ugly cry.
Oh my gosh. That is the cry.
That is that one.
Wow, you're going there.
Yeah.
I went there. All right. Well, we want to go there also, but after the commercial break. We're going to take a quick break. Stay right here. Don't go anywhere.
I will.
And don't leave either. We got more of 360 when we return.
Welcome back to Entertainment 360. We are still here with Karamo Brown from Queer Eye. Hello, honey.
Hey.
Now, you have to tell me, because this time the show was filmed in Atlanta as opposed to NYC. Was there any difference shooting in a new location, or what were the differences, I should say?
Oh, very big. It was like, first of all, the network was very smart of doing that, because first of all, we were in Atlanta, but we actually filmed like 2 to 3 hours outside of Atlanta. So that's where we lived, but we were in small towns. Like this gentleman behind us, he lived 2 hours outside of Atlanta, and I mean, he was very clear. He was like, I've never seen a gay person before in my life. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, boo.
You just didn't know.
You just didn't know. Okay?
Especially living in Atlanta.
Exactly. You just didn't know. And so, but it gave both of us a fish out of water experience. So we were all learning from each other, which was really great. So, people at home don't feel like, oh, we're the, experts, which we are, but we still have things that we need to learn to adjust, which is nice.
Well, you mentioned the experts and they're on the wall.
Yes.
What does each person, we know you're the cultural guru, what do they bring to the table?
Sure. So Jonathan right there is the funniest man alive, and he's our groomer. Tan France, he is our fashion guy, and he's actually from the UK.
Oh, another one.
Exactly. Has the amazing accent that I try to do, and I can't do it. Anthony Porowski, he is our food and wine guy, and he has a passion for food like I've never seen. And he actually was taught by Ted Allen, who was in the original cast. And then Bobby Burke, who I love to death, is one of the most prolific designers in life. He would turn this studio into you'd walk in and be like, where the hell am I in an hour? I mean, I don't know how he does it and how he creates a vision for spaces.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I kind of want to meet all of you now.
I know, right?
And I love all of your best friends.
Yeah.
All of them. I love that they have like this little nook of everything you need, all in one package. Like you just come and transform everything.
Well, that's what it is about. You know, that's why the Fab Five worked the first time around, and that's why it's going to work this time around, because each of us are bringing expertise, and we are coming in. And I think that's why it was so great that the culture shifted this time to being about the inside. Because, you know, it's great that you can say give tickets, you know, that worked for the first time. But like, again, I said, if you fix all the outside and if you cannot fix the inside, you'll walk away and that person's going to go right back to what they knew. And so for me, this is really important because I'm the reason why I feel a lot of these guys don't change back. They stay and they say, I'm going to continue this behavior.
Man, you make me want to be on the show. How do we get on the show?
Wait, I want to be
you don't do it. You fly.
I know. Yes, we have to ask you. Is Shannon Queer Eye approved?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
You
gotta think about it. Wait a minute. What you gotta think about it? I tried. That little pocket
He's like, what is
square.
this?
So we can't do that ever again.
Okay, we'll hide that.
Never do that one
We'll
again.
hide that. Little piece of paper
You
to make
are
that.
Queer Eye approved.
Of course I am, darling.
Also, the V-neck.
Yeah, doesn't work.
No more.
No more?
No more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to save my wonderful co-host from the rest of this embarrassment, and we're going to move on because we do have to talk about your life off the camera for a minute. Now, you mentioned the fact that Shannon is an amazing dad, as are you. You're the father of 2 boys that came into your life in a really interesting manner. Tell us about it.
So the last girl I dated in high school when I was 15 got pregnant, and this is before, you know, technology than we had. Even though I'm only 37, like. Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm old. I appreciate that. That's the loyalty. I love that. Okay. So yeah, she got pregnant and she moved away, and I never heard from her again, and didn't know that she had my child. And then one day I was walking home. There was a stack of papers on the doorstep for back child support. No. And that's how I found out about my child. And she actually did not come after me. The state had come after me. So when I showed up on her doorstep, she was just as surprised and as shocked as I was. Wow. And she only didn't tell me because she had her own family issues, but more so she thought like I didn't want to ruin his life. And that moment allowed us both to forgive each other, heal, and we have a great relationship now. She's a phenomenal mother. And while I was meeting my child, I asked if I could have custody, and her being the supportive, loving woman she was like, yes, there's things you can provide for him that I can't. And I took custody, and then later on, I adopted his little brother, which they have the same mother, different fathers.
Oh my goodness!
Became a father of 2.
That takes a real man to step up and raise someone else's kids.
I have
like,
tears in my eyes.
Thank you.
Story.
I gotta tell you, I appreciate you saying that, but I gotta be honest, and I always say this because I think it's not said enough. The reason I was able to step up and be a great man is because I had a great woman that allowed me and supported me. Like she was phenomenal. You know, a lot of times as couples, as black people sometimes as well, we hear about nothing but stories of black men and black women fighting and saying, and black men tearing down black women. And for me, it's always about lifting up the black woman and letting her know how special and how important she is. And I think that's what is so important about this, because she was the reason that this family is strong now. Because if she would have reacted any other way, I might have not reacted the way I reacted, but because she was the woman she is why this family is strong. And so I thank her.
That's beautiful,
so
isn't it?
It's just the truth. It's just the truth.
Well, what's your relationship like now? Because you have full custody and you live in different states, but what's the relationship? How do you work out the dynamics of
the relationship is great. You know, she calls every day, and the big thing my children can't stand is even though they're in the house with me, when mom says something, I'm like, your mother said it. And they're like, she ain't even here. And I'm like, I don't give a damn. If she said that's not going down, it's not going down. You know what I mean? And it's making sure that we continue that respect even though she's far away and, she's in Texas, I'm in California. But, it just goes back again. Like, for me, and I try to preach this as much as I can because I was raised by a strong mother, by strong sisters, that the black woman is the most phenomenal woman in this world. And this is no disrespect to any other race, but I think that it is important that as black men, we shout that to the skies as much as possible. Thank you for being you.
All the powerful women out there.
Thank you.
I tell you, my same thing. I could not do half of the things I do without my wife being the support system behind making sure everything goes as planned and they holding it down.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look
Shout
at
out
this.
to the women. And
Shout
this,
out.
my TV wife as well holds it down.
From two black men, we just want to let you know how much we love you.
I'm going to cry.
Get the Kim Kardashian.
Exactly. Kim Kardashian cry.
No, I love this so much. Guys, it's amazing to hear, though, because you don't hear it often enough.
Yes.
I love the fact that both of you promote it on all of your platforms. It's phenomenal stuff. Now, I want to talk about impact, because you strike me as quite an impactful person. And
Thank you.
You started from reality TV, from the real world, and many people didn't really know what you were about before. You were just an entertainer. But you have a lot of substance to you. I want to know what kind of impact you're looking to leave on this world.
You know, I think the impact that I'm going to leave on this world is going to be defined, once the good Lord takes me. Right now, I'm just living day by day and just speaking my truth as it comes. So, a lot of this time, it's blind faith a lot of times. When people are like, how do you just become a father? I'm like, blind faith, I just believed and did what I thought was right in the moment, and when I, being on the show and the things I do on the show, it's just blind faith. And so it's until moments like this that sometimes when people are like, oh, you did this, and I'm like, wow, I guess that was impactful. But to be God honest and in all humility and truth, I'm not thinking about it in the moment. It's not calculated. It's just be who you are. You know what I mean? And so what the impact will be, I don't know. That's for other people to decide. I just hope that I can continue just to use my platform to inspire, to show love, and to continue to grow.
Well, you've also used that platform to create a nonprofit that's doing very well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I created a nonprofit called 6and10.org, which supports people infected and affected by HIV and AIDS. And so when I say infected and affected, it is because it's all of us, especially in the African American community. Gay and bisexual black men are the highest infected next to black women. And so when you talk about that and where we are in 2018, why are those numbers not dropping in our community? And I think, first of all, it's because we're not having the conversation, or we think it's them who are infected and us that are not. And I think that we have to understand that it's all of our issue. You know what I mean? We have to support each other. And it goes back to, again, like taking down those divides in our community and starting to realize that we are one. I think there's something happened after the civil rights movement where we started to forget that we as a nation, as a group, as black people, when we get to come together, we are powerful. Like there is something strong about us. And again, this is not to take away from any other race, because I don't like to race bait, and I think that other races are just as strong as powerful. But I also love black people, and I love what we do. And this organization is to highlight and show us that we can have self-care.
I love it. Look.
Pastor Karamo!
Okay? Let me take you out of church real quick. I'm joking.
So I do have another question, and this one is about advice.
Yes.
Now, we are seeing a lot of people, and I'm glad you're opening a conversation as it pertains to the stigma of HIV and AIDS, but we're also seeing a lot of conversations opening up about being gay, about being young, black, and gay in particular. So you've got people like Logic making these songs that are winning Grammys, that are talking about, young men who are effectively committing suicide because they don't know how to come out to their parents. What advice would you give to a young black gay man in America or around the world who doesn't necessarily know who he is and how to find himself?
Yeah, I think the biggest advice that I would say first is to find your tribe. Because the thing is that by finding a support system, it's always easier to find out who you truly are, and also to express who you truly are to other people. One of the biggest fears for most people is that if I am to let you know who I am, that you're going to reject me. And so a way to combat that is knowing that that rejection may happen, which it does sometimes, but there is going to be love right here for you. It's that mommy and daddy. If I go out in the big bad world, I can come back to you. And sometimes it doesn't have to be your own peer groups. There's a lot of mentor groups. There are, there's so many people out there that can be in your tribe and can support you. And I'd say that's the first thing, because that will give you the knowledge, and make sure that tribe is healthy. Make sure it's not like some crazy drug people, whatever. But then secondly, understand that self-love is the most important thing. That as much as you want to believe that someone else's opinions matter, that it's really about you at the end of the day. I can tell you, I just posted something on my Facebook recently. My father still does not accept me to this day. He
Are you
is
serious?
Yeah.
His
loss. Okay.
So
I'm on Netflix, Will. I'm Coinsy.
Yeah,
No, you okay?
Wait. So back at what point did you come out? At what age were you, and who was your support system?
Sure.
Because if he wasn't, then
Sure, 16 is when I came out, and my support system was, first of all, my sisters and my mothers, which is why I also highlight Black women so much. But I also played sports. I played football, and my teammates, I had the courage enough to have a coach that set a culture of you will never disrespect him, which made my teammates be like, oh, you just one of the boys. And so I went through high school and college never feeling different because I had a support system from my straight male counterparts, which allowed me to feel comfortable in any arena I went to. And so when my father rejected me, and still to this day when he rejects me, it doesn't hurt me as much, you know what I mean? Of course we would all want that relationship, which people will always long for something, but for me, I always focus on the love that I do have and not the people who are closed off themselves, and that's why they can't be open to me.
You know what I see when I look at you? Strength.
Thank
So
you.
much strength.
Thank
that is a lot of resilience on your
Thank
part.
you.
It's
Thank
amazing.
you.
what advice do you give to people to have that same strength? Because it sounds easy, but when you're going through it, especially if you're young, it's difficult. It's hard. Even when you do have that support system around you, someone in your family, the people you look up to most, saying, "I do not accept your lifestyle."
Yeah.
How do you go?
It's
through
again
that?
reaching out. Like I probably get about 30 to 40 direct messages on Instagram a day from people saying, hey, I just want to know, like, what, I'm thinking about coming out. I don't know. And I'm just like, yo, I'm here as a resource. If something doesn't go through, just send me a message and I'll respond back. That's why those songs like that Logic has, just saying, like, it's going to be okay. It's okay to be another day. And giving the suicide hotline, the reason that you give that is because on the other side, there's someone saying, it's going to be all right. I'm here to talk to you. It's when we get in that space where we're alone is when we start feeling like the world has closed in on us. But when you realize you're not alone, is when you realize the world is open to you.
What a great response.
Look, we just need to have him on speed dial.
I know, right?
Feeling down.
Listen.
What's up?
Call me, boo! Call me!
When's the book coming out? You gotta have some type of inspirational book.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know what God has
We're giving
in
you all
store.
these ideas because you are so phenomenally
Thank
talented.
you. I appreciate that.
It's so authentic.
You all as well. Are you kidding me?
Thanks.
We're here. We're queer. We're going nowhere.
Definitely keep up the amazing work, and we want to make sure we tell everybody to watch on Netflix February the 7th. Queer Eye is going to be premiering, where we can catch you and your Fabulous Five there.
Fabulous Five, worldwide. So anybody watching this on the internet, this is worldwide.
We will be watching.
Yeah.
7th of February. It's a date.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Continue.
We will be right back with more Rise Entertainment 360.
Welcome back to Rise Entertainment 360. So we have a sad story in many ways to share with you. Okay, but we'll start with the good news. So the good news is that 51-year-old Donald Salvanto, well, he won $1 million lottery jackpot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, I'm unfortunately going to be the one that has to report the bad news because after a long battle with cancer, Donald died just 23 days after winning that jackpot. Wow. Before passing, he said he planned on seeing a doctor because he previously could not afford health insurance. That is such a sad story, particularly in the wake of the political climate that we're currently in and all the issues with medicals. I mean, but if you won that kind of cash, what would you do with it?
Well, thankful that I have health insurance, praise God. But I would say first I would pay off my house, pay off all my bills, getting out of debt, and then I would donate 10% because I got to give something to the Lord.
Okay, now.
And then I would, invest
Wait,
some
quick
of
question.
it.
So if you won 100 million, you give $1 million to the Lord?
Yeah.
God is in
churches,
heaven.
the churches that I attend, the spiritual things that I go to, churches and different services that help people for religious purposes.
Amazing.
Yeah, I gotta give my 10%, and then I would invest the rest.
What would you invest it in?
Different stocks and bonds and real estate.
You're not just a pretty face, Shannon.
No, I gotta do my real estate.
Shoes.
See.
And bags. And a Ferrari. And a mansion.
Mansion, that's a lot to worry, a lot to clean, a lot of things.
I would be cleaning it. Like, hello, I'm the winner of $100 million.
Then you get
I would
rid of
have
all your money. You have to save some of that money because then you're paying people to take care of it.
But I just wouldn't pay them. What do you want from me, Shannon?
Oh my gosh.
I'm
okay.
having a mansion
well, then,
and a Ferrari.
Can I come
either
live in a
way.
guest house? That way I can save my money?
Yes, you may. Not a problem.
That works for me. You guys got to tweet us and tell us what you would get with $1 million also. Tweet us and let us know.
If you are like me and you would like to, purchase some fabulous shoes in a bag and, a Ferrari and a mansion and all the other finer things of life.
See, I already have those things. That's why I'm not trying to spend it now. No. Okay, maybe not.
We don't believe you. You need more people.
In my head.
Moving on.
In my head. All right. Well, here's a weird yet hilarious Hollywood story like we don't have enough of those.
Right.
Well, back in 2016, Leonardo DiCaprio and his revenant co-star Tom Hardy made a bet that if Leonardo won the Oscar, Tom would actually get a real tattoo of whatever Leonardo wanted on his body. Yes.
Okay, so we all know that Leonardo won an Academy Award for Best Actor. But Tom has actually kept his promise.
That's crazy.
This recent picture shows a tattoo on his upper right arm that says, Leo knows all. Well, at least he's a man of his words. So, what are we making a bet on?
Oh, no, you're not getting me.
Yes.
Because I know you're psychic and you'll probably win the bet.
Of course I will. And I also have 8 tattoos. So tattoos are not...
Wait. Back up a little bit. Wait, 8 tattoos?
Yes.
Okay, where and what?
I guess
you don't have to show us all of them. Just tell us about one.
I can show you this one.
Okay, that's fair enough.
What
is
the only
this?
I can show
hold
you.
up, can you see that?
So that's on my ankle. It's a cherubim on a crescent moon.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Now, I do have a cross here.
Oh, yes.
I designed it myself. I can't show you because of my clothes, but it's a cross that's being, my flesh is being ripped open and the cross is going in. I call it the God within. I created it all by myself.
That sounds quite scary.
No, it's got to have a little hardness to it. It's got a little hardness.
And here's my little cute cherubim on a moon just sailing through the skies. Okay, so we do have to make this bet. Since we're not strangers to tattoos.
Okay.
So, what are we going to do?
I'm afraid. I'm just afraid. Let's bet on the Oscars again.
Okay.
We'll follow in their footsteps and bet on who's going to win the Oscars.
So
at least the best film. We'll have to go with best film, the top prize.
Okay, we have to talk about the nominations.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
And then we'll
come
decide
up with
tomorrow.
We'll tell you all about how it's going to happen, how it's going to go down, and we'll tell you, oh my gosh. Okay, well, I got to take a break and calm down after this. It's making me hot.
Let's discuss this during the break.
Okay, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so who's going to win?
I don't even know the nominees.
In a fast-paced world, you need the ability to make everything move at your own speed. Stay ahead and not miss anything. That's why I'm a More Life Complete, which lets me call everyone in Nigeria on all networks at just 15 kobo per second. You can also call any line in the United States, Canada, UK, Germany, India, China, and Malaysia too at just 15 kobo per second. And just when you think life can't get any easier, I get 15 free minutes to call anyone in the 9 Mobile family. Just booked your ticket to London. Before you think I've got to compete on More Life, I also get 15 minutes free browsing to catch up on sports updates and anything online. Now that's what I call the complete package.
It's been a great year for agribusiness. With our weather and the amazing range of soil available to us, the fallow lands are birthing their magnificent potential. The Central Bank of Nigeria, under President Buhari's administration, is spearheading this progress, and everyone is getting in on it. The local farmer on the Anchor Borrowers Program and the international investors, taking advantage of the new policies geared towards easy foreign investment, stabilized exchange rate, and FX market. The harvest is green and lush, and we are just getting started. Come, invest in Nigeria. Discover what the green in our flag really stands for. Nigeria, ready for business. An initiative of Greenfield Assets Limited.
There is nothing as symbolic as a door. It shuts to protect you and opens to give you much more. Everyone wants to succeed, not just count pennies. When life gets tough, I remember a few things. Difficulty and struggles are part of what life brings. Your strength comes from the support around you. A true friend believes in what you do, there to hold your hand through any weather. I found my partner, and we walked through doors together.
Diamond, your bank.
Welcome back to Arise Entertainment 360. Now, we were discussing during the break what sort of bet we'd be making. And I think we've finally come to a conclusion, but all will be revealed on tomorrow's show.
That's right.
So we're going to start with this next story, which is a little crazy plane that traveled from Norway and was heading to Germany that had to end their flight and turn around due to a broken toilet.
Yeah, toilet.
Now get this. There were 85 plumbers on board the plane heading to a conference.
And
what is going on?
Why didn't they just fix it? But, okay, apparently, in all fairness to the plumbers, that they wanted to resolve the issue, but unfortunately, it had to be done from outside the aircraft, and so I guess it's not, appropriate for them to crawl out on the wing of the airplane at thousands of feet above the air.
In the air.
Yeah. So okay, we'll let you slide on this one.
I mean, can we let's dial back a moment. 85 plumbers on a plane. That sounds like the beginning to a joke.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
how many plumbers does it take to fix a toilet? Like,
on a plane!
Yeah, my question was, what did it smell like? Because it probably smelled horrible, which is why they was like, we got to turn this bad boy around.
Ew.
This toilet's not flushing.
Gross.
I'm just saying, it had to be something.
Yuck.
Okay, sorry.
Thanks. TMI. Now, another person who does not spare us any information is comedian Tiffany Haddish.
Love her.
And if there's one thing that you should know about her, it's that her storytelling skills are next level.
Right.
Now, one story that she hasn't told us until now is how she ended up getting a selfie with Beyonce last month. Naturally, it's hilarious, and of course, it deserves to be told solely by Tiffany.
That's right. Haddish ended up, Haddish ended up posting the photo on Instagram with the caption that now makes much more sense than it did when it first appeared.
Yes. Tiffany reveled and said that Beyonce was telling me that my wig was slipping.
I'm like, what?
But for real, she told me to have fun, and I did. Hashtag she ready, hashtag the last black unicorn, hashtag Beyonce.
She ready.
Hey.
She ready. You gotta do her dance. Her dance.
Yeah.
She ready. I think she is the best thing since sliced bread.
She is hilarious.
I love her. And that story she told about Will Smith and Jada taking them to the swamp tour and them getting in his car, and they're like, what's a Groupon?
Hilarious.
But guess what? Now that whole joke about her talking about what's a Groupon, Tiffany, and now won her a commercial with Groupon. She has a commercial. She's like a spokesperson for Groupon.
You know what, girl? You smart.
Yeah, you smart.
You loyal.
You pretty.
You kind.
You kind.
You lovely. We love you. And that does it.
I know. We have to definitely have her on the show. Definitely. And don't forget, you're going to watch us tomorrow for the bet, and Pat Houston is going to be in the house. You don't want to miss this in-depth and intimate interview.
Absolutely. Now that does it from us here at Arise Entertainment 360. We have had a barrel of laughs and a ton of fun. Thank you so much for joining us. See you tomorrow.
Peace.